Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Wemimo and I'm also known as That Mama 5 and also known as TMO5 Kanduko. If you're new to my channel, welcome, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for always coming back. How have you guys been? Like, it's been I think it's about a couple of weeks now that I've uploaded onto my channel. um there are several reasons why I did not upload, and a few of those things you guys might know and you may not, but I just thought I would just come back here and tell you guys that I'm still pretty much on the street of YT, even though I've not uploaded in the past 2 or 3 weeks now. However, I have been supporting most of the channels that I enjoy watching, such as like the Barnagles, Choice TV, I think Vivian TV, Vicky's Corner, Amy React, Inezaville. I've been watching all of those channels, even though I've not been like uploading as much. And yeah, how have you guys been? How are you in whatever location you may be? How's life going on with you, most especially for those of you who are in Nigeria? I know things are quite difficult at present, and how are you guys coping? Even though some of us here in the Obodo Yimbo, inflation is like inflating everybody, so we're just trying. We're just trying. Anyway, to the reason why, not really the reason why, it's just like an update, according to the title, that a year on from me, after becoming a qualified nurse. Yes, so like I said, if you're new to my channel, I qualified as a nurse last year September. I think I finished my final submission in July, so I did not receive my pin until September. So we're in the month of September, which makes it approximately a year I've been practicing nursing. So yeah, it was it was a dream come true for me, even though this is actually my second degree. My first degree was information technology, and nursing is my second degree. And it's kind of like surprising how at times when I speak to my mom, and she'll be like, Dupe, she calls me Dupe, she'll be like, Dupe, when are you gonna go study law? Because obviously law was my secondary school ambition. Like when we're all in secondary school and you're like, oh, what do you want to study? It was what I always wanted. Always wanted to study law. And each time and every time I speak to my mom, she's always like, hey, when are you going to study law? Have you closed that chapter? And I just laugh at her, like you know what, after 2 degrees, I don't think it's something I want to do. And looking at the people around me, like elderly people, elderly parents, elderly, people in my surroundings, they've seen my flair for things happening around me, and they often ask that, are you sure you don't want to go study something in relation to human rights or law or something? And I just laugh at them like, yeah, maybe if I get scholarship I might just go for it, because obviously if I'm going to have to go back to do law or something to do with human rights law, I will have to pay my fees myself, which at the moment I can't afford. So that's that. Anyway, a year since I've been qualified. Nursing is great, yeah. I'm actually enjoying it in the aspect that I love the hospital where I work hard. And I don't know if at any time, if you watch any of my placement videos while I was at uni, my course I spent 3 years on nursing degree, and out of my nursing degrees we had 9 placements, and I believe 5 out of that placement was at the hospital where I'm currently a registered nurse. So I practically trained in that hospital, so I know my way around there. I know like a few of the staffs that I now work with, a few of the surgeons, a few of the anesthetists. I know a few of them while I was a student. So I guess that was what sold the hospital for me, that this is where I really want to work. And like I said, it's a great working environment. I love working there. In case I've not said, I am a recovery nurse. So as a recovery nurse, we've got different departments in recovery. So we kind of like, we work alongside the theater. So the theater team department consists of cardiac, thoracic, non-thoracic, general surgery, and stuff like that. So most of the patients that comes through theater come to us and we recover them. So we collect the patient from the ward, we pre-op them, they go into theater, they come back to us in post-op, and then they go back to the ward. So we're kind of like the middleman in between the ward and the theater team, so we can like recover them. You know what happens in recovery when you have your surgery and you go to recovery. Like, we make sure you're comfortable, we make sure your observations are fine, we are satisfied with your observations before we send you back to the ward, stuff like that. So that is what I do. And for those of you who do not know that aspect of nursing is available, yes, it is very, very much available. You don't necessarily have to go to the ward to work as a nurse. For me, while I was training to become a nurse as a student, I knew the ward was not for me. Reason being that, you work 12 hours a day, and at the end of the day, it's not certain that you leave work at 7:45. You might be doing your notes, you might probably not leave until 8:30. So I knew working on the ward is not for me. And also because if you're on the ward, you work all public holidays, you will work Christmas, you work, all of those things, except maybe is the Russian war holidays you're going to be doing this year. You work weekends, you work nights, you do all of that. But for where I work currently right now, we don't work public holidays. You can always use your annual leave, and we get paid public holiday as well. We don't work Christmas Day or anything like that. We don't work weekends. However, you have to work one Saturday every 6 weeks. So by the time I've done one Saturday, it might be another 12 weeks before I get to do another Saturday, because it has to be rationed round. So yeah, I actually love my where I work right now. And also, just like with every other career or every other job, there's always going to be a side of it. So I just want to liken maybe I should call this like my experiences so far. Obviously as a student, we were trained that if it is not written, that means it's not been done. So let's say you were supposed to give a patient a medication at 12 o'clock, and you said you've given the patient the medication, but you've not signed it. For the fact that you've not signed it, it shows that you've not given the patient, even though you know within yourself that you've given that patient that medication. So that's an example of, if you've not written it down, it does not happen. So, and I also want to liken what is happening in the music entertainment industry in Nigeria right now to what's happening in the NHS. Like, it's like a week about things, like a close knit of something. I'm also going to refer to the Lucy Ledby's The Killer Nurse. Obviously while we're being trained as a student, we were told if you see something that is not right, feel free to speak about it. All of these things we were trained to do, but then you find out that if you actually do those things that you've been trained to do at work, you're being treated differently. I've had my fair share. In fact, I had 2 experiences whereby I saw something and I spoke about it, and I was made to look as if I was a villain. So afterwards, I made sure that if anything, I'm going to zip my mouth. But at the end of the day, my conscience is going to keep pricking at me that, okay, you saw something, you should speak up about it. So in that aspect, it's still not going to stop me from the fact that if I see any harm being done to a patient by any member of staff or by anybody, it's not going to stop me from speaking up, because I will do it. But I guess in a situation whereby some colleagues, they've been working together for a very long time, they are kind of like a close knit, it's hard for someone new like me to kind of like be able to kind of like venture into them. So it's kind of like hard. I've tried, and I realized that rather than trying to get to know everybody, just do me, which I've always done anyways. Anyway, in general, being a nurse where I work currently, I loved it. It's a nice it's a nice working environment. I'm building my skills day by day. I'm not perfect. Like, all of the things that I've learned where I work now since I qualified, I didn't experience none of that as a student at all. No. And I love the fact that they've given more third-year students more avenue, more chance to do some of the things I was not able to do while I was in my 3rd year. Like, in my 3rd year, I can't even hang a drip, I can't take bloods. But I've seen some 3rd year students who come into my workplace and they were doing all of these things, and I was like, that's good that they've been given such an opportunity to do such. So for me, in that aspect, I'm still going to keep on lots of training. And as you all know, for the fact that you're now qualified, you're now a registered nurse, it does not mean that your learning stops. No, your learning never finishes. You're just about to continue. So learning never ends when it comes to being a nurse, or if you're in the medical profession, your learning will always continue. It's not going to stop the day you qualified or something like that. So yeah, I actually love my job. I love the fact that I see lots of different people. I see a lot of things in terms of health interventions that maybe if I was to be back home in Nigeria and somebody told me that patient asked this, I'm like, oh, that's the end of life for that person. But no, since I've become a nurse, I've seen so many things in the medical field that could be done to save people's lives, you know. So yeah, I'm enjoying my job so far. And will I be going back to education? Never say never, because obviously when you do things in life, you want to progress. Like, we human being, we always want to reach self-actualization. So for me, I don't think I have reached my self-actualization yet. So hence why I said never say never about, you know, going back to school. And if I have to leave working in a hospital community, in a hospital setting, I'll probably be working in the community, because I had a placement as an health visitor, and I loved working with children in the community. So if I eventually leave working in a hospital setting, I'll probably be working in the community, either as a health visitor or something. So never say never. So yeah, I guess apart from the fact that it's been now a year since I've been a nurse, the pay is not great. I'm telling you, the pay is not great. Before tax, I probably make about 2,700 something before tax. However, after tax, I barely come home with £2,000. So that's just a short summary of that. So the pay is not great. However, if you are still young and energetic, you can do bank shift, you can do agency nurse, you know, you can go do all the extra shit. But me, I'm old. At this my age, I don't have the energy to go and start doing well, I do overtime at times at work, but to go and be doing bank in one hospital or go and be doing agency, I'm too old. My bones, you know, the mind is willing, but the body is not cooperating. So if you have the energy, if you have the strength, you can do that. Then you can make more money. And at this rate, I just want to keep working, you know, making a living for myself and my family. And also, we obviously know that I turned 40 this year, and my plan going forward is to travel the world. So I've got a bucket list of places I want to travel to. God willing, I get money. God willing, I make money from YouTube, from all of my channels of businesses. Yeah, from all of my business channels. I hope I make money, so I'll be able to, you know, do all of these things on my bucket list. So the first place on my mind that I want to travel to is Georgia. I want to tour United States, and I also want to tour Asia. So I just pray I have that money, I make that money, because I really want to travel the world. I mean, my kids are all grown now, and I believe that they'll be fine if I decide to carry my bag and tour the world. But then I need to make the money first. Anyways, guys, that's just a little update from me. And I'm gonna try and, you know, upload maybe one video every week. I'm not promising, but I'm gonna try. I just thought, let me come out here with this fresh face and say hello to you guys, that I'm still here. It's just that work, life, side also, you know, personal circumstances has kind of like taken me away from wanting to sit down and speak into my camera. Anyway, guys, thank you so much if you've watched from now. Like I said earlier on, I'm enjoying my job so far. I'm happy and well. And if you have any question at all in regards to nursing that you would like to know about, or my line of job, you can, you know, DM me, or I'll leave my Instagram page on the screen here. You can DM me on my Instagram page. You can also email me or drop your questions in the comment section, and I'll be happy to answer them. So if you have watched till now and you've not liked this video, what are you waiting for? Are you not glad to see this fresh face? This fresh face. So don't forget to like, drop a comment in the comment section, subscribe if you're yet to do so, share also. And for those of you who have reached out to me on supporting me, like obviously I said I want to travel the world, I've gotten a few DMs like, oh, how can we support you? So you can support me by joining my membership. There's a button on the beside my name there that has a heart shape with a $sign. If you click on that way it allows you to join my membership, and you can support me. Hopefully I'll be able to start saving up the money for me to travel. Anyway, thank you so much if you've watched till now, and I hope to catch up with you in my next video. All right, and have an awesome week ahead of you. Okay, bye.